Guys, it's Main here, back again with another account review, and today we're going to be looking at DrKennith's account. So kind of flip-flopping back and forth between the giveaway and the paid viewers, because for whatever reason you guys are actually donating a lot of money. Thank you so much. Appreciate all the support again, but I really want to get through this backlog so I can actually review people's accounts free to play. So please, as much as it's nice, I prefer the no donations as of right now. Anyways, we have DrKennith's account, taking a look at it, and I don't know anything about this man's account, so I don't even know why I'm ad-libbing. Let's just go jump into it. Okay, cool. I don't know, man. Well, at the time of me recording, I'm currently in Masterclass week, so obviously my brain is very Masterclass oriented. So I guess I can take this video to kind of deep dive into Masterclasses, why they're important, why progressing them is important, why using the specific Meritocracy ballot that we have right now is important for Masterclass resources. And for those of you that don't have the ballot or the ability to get the ballot or benefit from it, let's talk about how you can up your Masterclass resources, because World 7 kind of exploded that in terms of, Deathbringer Bones, AC Tachyons, and Windwalker Dust. So let's talk about how you can take advantage of World 7, even if you're not there yet, how you can kind of aim yourself to utilize it when you get there. So let's go ahead and I guess just talk about, obviously, bubbles. It's kind of the first thing to mention. So there's 3 bubbles here that specifically target Masterclass resources. You have the purple Tachyon bubble, you have the dust bubble, and then you have the bone bubble. All these impact their respective master classes. So we have Arcane Cultist, Windwalker, and Deathbringer. These are really good bubbles. These are multipliers to the resource gain. So these are a really good place to start. If you can't Prisma the bubble, that's completely fine. Just getting these bubbles into atom range is exactly what you want to do, and probably spend some atoms on this. So this comes from the World 7 Tower Defense. This is in the Puffer Blob map, right above Litterfish, to the right of Eamsea Earl, right below Doodlefin. It's like one of the things you want to go for. I guess I can pull up the map and show you guys kind of visually where it is. Right here in this first branch. It's in the Puffer Blob map. Also, this is the resource you need for the Tachyon bubble, the Puffer Flesh. I will say also the drop rates and also the multi-kill effect in World 7 are heavily nerfed. So this is the base material for the Puffer Blob. So if you have multi-kill, you can get more of this, but obviously 1 in 2,000 is vastly harder than any other world before. So it requires a lot of drop rate to actually be able to drop this, and a lot of multi-kill to actually be able to benefit from it, because I'm in a bad map for the multi-kill effect. But looking at Equinox Broadbass, and yes, I have an HP prayer on, my multi-kill is 2,240 for this map, and the reason for that is because of this modifier right here that affects all of World 7, which makes multi-kill, instead of having a 2 times damage tier every single time, it's actually 5 times, and then just naturally decreases the effect of your multi-kill by 90, I've seen up to 92%. So multi-kill itself is heavily nerfed. On top of the damage cap being increased, I see a lot of questions about how people are not hitting multi-kill caps in World 7. It's because of this 5x increase as opposed to 2x. You see here, going from an 18 to 19 tier, goes from 4.2 billion to 22. It's roughly 5x or so. So yeah, it's pretty insane. Being able to multi-kill something in World 7 requires a ton, and I mean a ton of damage. So multi-kill is generally not the way you really want to push. Kill per kill from stats is also not the way you want to push, because those stats, the kill per kill talent is gone. So, or at least the ones from these elite classes. So it's not really an effective way of pushing. It's more so AFK gains and fighting AFK gains, right? Hitting 10,000, yes, it's extremely hard. Requires a lot of pay to win, in my opinion. But again, this video is prefaced by my opinions and not fact whatsoever. Anyways, but yeah, it requires a lot of different things. Mob respawn requires a lot of AFK gains, requires a lot of damage as well to hit multi-kill if you can scale it at all. So it's kind of hard. But anyways, I'm digressing here. It's not the point of the tangent here. Is talking about master classes. But yeah, Puffer Blob is where the map, you get the tower defense and also for the Tachyon bubble, and then the bone bubble. This is in the Litterfish map. These are litter bugs. It's the World 7 catching node. So this you can actually get a print of and get this atomable pretty easily. Same with the souls. Honestly, the souls are relatively easy. It's the Puffer Blob that's really hard to actually get resources for, to get this bubble into atom range. So either way, slowly over time, while no bubble left behind does not work on these World 7 bubbles yet, I don't think. You need to to kind of manually get these bubbles up to no bubble left behind. To atom range. I do also want to talk specifically about ways to get these World 7 bubbles atomed outside of just master classes. There's some tricks that you can utilize to actually get some of these bubbles into atom range. It's very simple, actually. Let me see if I have a bubble I can utilize as an example. I don't know. Maybe this, for example. Okay, so damage to the moon. So I'm on a warrior class right now. Truthfully, if I go on my Siegebreaker, I don't think actually I'm gonna get too much of a cost reduction here. A little bit. Okay, so 3.69 on my Siegebreaker compared to my DK, I get like 4 point something, right? So right there, swapping classes is important. The reason this works is because there's two bubbles that affect that. Archer or Bust multiplies the effectiveness of all the small bubbles in the green cauldron, and that impacts your green bargain. So when you're on an Archer, you get an increased cost reduction to everything in the green cauldron, nothing in the other cauldrons, because obviously Archer or Bust doesn't apply to other cauldrons, just these small ones here, the green. So you can go on a Siegebreaker or a Windwalker to reduce the cost of the bubbles inside the respective cauldrons. So Archer, green cauldron, right? So you can utilize that to your advantage because obviously things will cost less. It'll be easier to upgrade in alchemy. Okay. And then you can take this kind of a step further. So say I upgrade this, right? Eventually, once this is at like 20 million to 30 million resource cost, honestly even lower than that, you can use bargain tags to reduce the cost of it. So if the cap's out at 90% cost reduction. So I upgrade this here, cost 700 of the scroll here, now it's costing 13,000. I repeat and get more bargain tags. There we go, 1,000 up to 24,000. Use more bargain tags here and get that up there. And then you can kind of take this even another step further from that. There is a node inside of lab that you can disconnect from. This right here, my first chemistry stat. This doubles the bonuses of every single vial inside of alchemy. Just remember to reconnect afterwards. The reason this is impactful is because of the barley brew vial. This one right here, it lowers the cost for all bubbles. So on top of swapping away from an Archer, and on top of disconnecting this node from lab, and on top of using bargain tags to increase the cost of that bubble, you can kind of force atom something that you don't have enough resources for. So if I go over here, instead of the 42,000 it was before, now it's 262,000. Okay, so kind of use those to your advantage to purposefully increase the cost of the bubble to get it above the 100 million cap, the 100 million number, so that you can start using atoms on the bubble. And then once you start using atoms on it, the base cost of the bubble will start going up to a point where even if you take if you put on the vial chemistry set, this will not go below 100 mil, right? That's the goal of trying to force something into atom range. That's how a lot of the end gamers did this for some of the harder bubbles, like for example, Damage of the Soul, Cattle of the Goat, Faster Energy, Cod-Free Rules. Like these bubbles, you need to use those mechanics because it's really hard to get some of these resources, whether they be mob materials or spelunking materials in the case of Cod-Free Rules, right? There's no way I'm going to get 1 billion of the popcorn thing from the, what cave is this? 4, 5? Chocomire? I'm not going to get 1 billion of those. Not in any way, shape, or form. So, yeah. So that's kind of how you manage the cost reduction there for bubbles. And that's how you kind of force them into the 1 billion range so that you can start atoming it. And I highly recommend doing that for those masterclass bubbles specifically because they are a huge multiplier. So absolutely great. And if you have Prisma fragments left over, you have a bubble that you want to Prisma, I'd say the tachyon bubble, 100%. Because when it comes to Windwalker Dust or it comes to Deathbringer Bones, these are relatively easy, or they're relatively easy to scale. Or in the case of Deathbringer Bones, there's another source of Deathbringer Bones that's not available to the other master classes, and that's Gambit Cavern. Gambit Cavern actually has a bonus if you get enough points in Gambit Cavern. That'll give you, and don't mind the time I have on this, I haven't done this in forever since Gambit Cavern released basically, but 2x extra bones on Deathbringer. Notice it doesn't say other master classes, it specifically specifies bones and Deathbringer, so this only applies to Deathbringer. So Deathbringer is relatively easy actually to get Bone Multi 4 on top of what World 7 brought with the bubble, on top of this vial right here giving you, this is also a multiplier by the way for masterclass resources, and on top of weekly update with, I think, Zenith statues also expanded on Spelunking and added the turquoise hard hat. This is also a multiplier to master classes, so Bones, Dust, and Tachyons again. On top of that, World 7 also introduced the Coral Reef, the Anemone Coral specifically, which adds the Tome Epilogue. The Tome Epilogue is also something that scales off of Tome points, and on top of that, scales with Deathbringer's Great Tome Book upgrade in the Grimoire. So here you can get extra bones, dust, and later on tachyons as well. This is also a multiplier. So all of this together, I can go on this character, waste a minute, that's completely fine. All of this together means that for me, my tachyon mult is now at 524,941. And keep in mind, that's mostly because we're in this ballot right now for 5.3 times Masterclass resources. Because also 69, nice. Really, really big. All those bonuses stacking up. I'm in the 500Ks, 500,000 tachyon mult. And if I go on my Deathbringer with a high enough gravestone, I'm in the 10 mil bone increase. And if I go on my my Windwalker, I've seen people hit like, I don't know, I could be fibbing on this. I think I've seen 50 mil dust gain or whatever. Pretty insane. Pretty insane. So this week, this ballot is actually fairly good for pushing your masterclasses. Yeah, so all that together, that's kind of what you want to do. So that's kind of how you scale the masterclass resources with World 7. The bubble, there's the vial. This vial right here, getting this up, this is another multiplier. There's Spelunking, the hard hat, turquoise hard hat upgrade as well, increases turquoise hard hat. This one right here is also a multiplier, so this increases that. So I'll get to Spelunking in just a second and talk about how to scale your, amber gain, power, stuff like that. But yeah, that's kind of the main sources of all the masterclasses I can think of off the top of my head. I mean, there's obviously the scalers from the masterclass itself, some of the talents, like the Deathbringer has the Grave Tome, Gravestone has the multiplier. There's like Bones of Plenty, there's Bovenet Hoarding as well, like the Grimoire specific upgrades, like there's those as well naturally that you can upgrade to get more bones out of, or in the case of Windwalker, upgrading dust upgrades or tachyon mult for AC. AC has 3 different increases to tachyons, 2 of which are readily available. One is, I think, Ripple in Space Time, and the other is Verdon Hoarding. And later on, which I don't believe, well, there's probably a few people that have it by now, but Orion Hoarding. Orion Hoarding refers to the very last tachyon. I don't even have it, and I had like 3,500 AC rocks to use from the advent of World 7, and I still don't have it. I didn't use the ballot, unfortunately. Kind of regret that, but still. Yeah, that's also another source of tachyon increase, but that's also like almost at the end of tesseract, so if you get there, you're kind of done anyways. Who cares? Cool. Okay, moving on. Let's move away from masterclasses for just a second. I guess if you're looking for resources how to progress the masterclasses, with the exception of AC, there is a resource in my Discord. There's an organized tips and tricks section. Look at that because it has all of the charts for mobs to use and fight specifically to increase your masterclass resource. It's like the most efficient for masterclass resources. So Deathbringer has a progression sheet, a progression chart. Windwalker has a progression chart, and AC does. Actually, no, I think it does because of brackets. I think he made one recently. Let me double check and fact check that. Not in the organized tips and tricks, but I think in tips and tricks there is. Yeah, there's like a preliminary work in progress one that we're doing. The trouble with the AC progression sheet is that it uses tech that was previously deemed okay, but then was later banned by the same person that deemed it okay. So. Or like it was called into question, so I don't know if this even should be shared. Also, it's not even talking about the specific tech, so maybe it's fine. I mean, anyways, this progression sheet is kind of what you want to look for. This chart, generally the mobs that are best for tachyons, give you the best kind of tachyons for where you are, depending on what world you are. Kind of goes in order. So purple tachyons goes from world 1 to world 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Notice world 7's not in there because if you get to world 7 on AC, you're probably cheating because it's really, really hard. I'm kind of locked at Skydoggy Spirits right now. That's kind of where it is. So cool. Okay. Sigils don't really impact our master classes, but let's talk about sigils for just a second. I don't know if you have the last upgrade yet from Spelunking. I hope that you do. I don't know. Bosses haven't done this guy yet. So you got to depth 69. Nice, by the way. I imagine your power. So you have 48 QQ power. This is more than enough to kill the 7th Spelunking boss, Mr. Jazzy here. What I'd recommend for potion setup is, let's see if I can pop up the elixirs here. I'd recommend a stamina, this one right here, another blue stamina here, 2 shadow strikes, and then a green power potion. Don't pop the green power potion immediately. Save it for when you get to like depth 50 or so with your power. I think it's fine. Maybe 55, 60 or so. As you go along, every 5 depth, make sure to clear until you get an extra potion, because every 5 clears you get gives you an extra potion. And when you get to depth 70, make sure you have like at least 6 characters left over. If you don't, you're probably not going to succeed. But just to overkill it, make sure to equip the Warhammer, the last weapon. Pop the green potion for that 5 times power, and then the shadow strikes plus you just spamming Mr. Jazzy should be enough for you to kill it. It does require a lot of power, but I killed it when I was at 12 QQ power. You are 4 times that, so you should be able to kill Mr. Jazzy and then be able to get the ethereal bubbles, ethereal sigils, I think they're called, whatever. And this final tier of sigils is really, really good, because instead of it giving just an additional sigil tier, it actually gives you prisma bonus effects for every ethereal sigil that you get. It's relatively small, but with it giving prisma bubble effect, that's more than enough reason to push it. It's absolutely worth it because it gives you a lot of stuff like drop rate, gold food effect, sigil charge rate, right, to help out with that. Scaling loot value, divinity exp, it's like cost reduction for stamps, daily crystals, star talents, refinery cycle speed, liquid regen, right? There's a lot of good stuff here that you have from these ethereal sigils. Absolutely worth to get that. And obviously, like I mentioned, it's got that prisma bubble effect. So really, really good. Okay, I want to move away from that. Let's talk about Arcade Shop. Arcade Shop is also another source of Masterclass resources, often when it comes in rotation, that is. So it'll kind of depend, but there's Deathbringer Bones, there's Windwalker Dust, there's AC Tachyons, right? And then there's also Prisma bonus effect. If you have those bubbles Prisma, that gives you more Masterclass resources. Also a really good one to super if it comes back, for those of you who are watching and want to know. In terms of this shop rotation, currently Meritocracy bonus is absolutely amazing. Meritocracy has been, and I say this not even lightly, it has been absolutely game-changing for Idleon. The meta has constantly shifted every single week for the past 4 weeks since, or 3 weeks, whatever, since World 7 dropped because of this bonus. Meritocracy is insane. It is meta-defining. It changes what you should be doing every single week if you want to stay relevant and efficient for Tome. Because it's just that insane. I don't know if there's a list on Toolbox now, but among the important things is like Monument Multiplier, Monument Day increases, Cattle Krug bonus multiplier, like the bubbles it increases, the amount of bubbles it gives you, Masterclass resources, the amount of AFK resources you get from Masterclasses can also be multiplied. There's Spelunking Stamina Multiplier regen. I think there's a joke upgrade that like gives you a multiplier to everything in Idleon. I don't know if that's actually true. If it does, that's kind of insane. There's also a star sign effect multiplier that works outside of the Seraph Cosmos multiplier. So it's a separate multi, 2 star signs. There's, I don't even know. I think there's a classy XP multi or something. So this ballot oh, hold on. There's also Skilly XP multi, which affects a lot more than we expected, which was the previous week. There's so much more that the Meritocracy ballot does. So if you happen to stumble across 210,000 golden balls and have enough blue balls to actually super this bonus, I would highly recommend it because of how insane the Meritocracy ballot has been so far, in terms of how impactful it has been for your account and how meta defining it is. It's 100% worth getting this to super if you can. Probably not in this rotation, but in like a future rotation. It's like absurd how powerful this is. Okay, cool. Moving on. Let's talk about printer, I guess. I don't know. I mean, prints are just print whatever you want, man. Honestly, at this point, you're in World 7 with a 2Q copper ore print. I think you have a general idea of when you should be reprinting. But generally, the reason why you want to reprint is because of blessing bonuses for gods now, because of the increase of Coral Kid, increasing that bonus to like absurd degrees, getting it to like 200-300 plus blessing bonus or so, depending how much divinity points you have. You can run out of atoms very quickly in that. Also, pushing helium is always a goal. People are pushing like 18 helium, I think now, maybe 19 helium, depending on their ore prints. So, Bravery Monument, getting more Zenith statue effect, getting more mining statues, more Dragon Warrior statues, getting more of that mining power from the statues itself. Really, really good. Equinox. Okay, obviously Equinox symbols, best one to do. I don't know if this is counting the new endless summoning waves you've done or other sources, I guess. I don't know. I think it's just endless summoning. But yeah, Equinox symbols the best one. Once you are done with Equinox symbols, maybe do faux jewels. Outside of faux jewels, maybe metal detector, because now this scales infinitely as opposed to when you get a new nugget. So this is really, really good with that legend talent. Outside of that, I don't really think food lust is that good. Obviously, laboratory fuse is awful. Unfortunately, you haven't maxed. Voter rights is kind of okay. Depends on the bonus that comes to the World 2 ballot. And mention this doesn't affect meritocracy. It only affects the World 2 ballot bonus because it specifies a World 2 town. So this is okay situationally, but given the past we've had with the ballot, it's almost never good, with the exception of, I think about 2 weeks ago with divinity points, right? That was also insane. Really, really good. Cool. Okay, buildings. I think you have, yeah, I mean, if anything, I would consider just straight up always having Pantheon Shrine in your setup for construction ready to go. Obviously, this requires a lot of jungle logs to do, and often you'll see me swap to my storage to kind of talk about, you know, how fucked things are. But this does require a lot of jungle logs. So there. The reason I have so many is because you can actually create separate stacks in your inventory. So I need to do this because I'm out. Fuck, my cat's scratching me. I need to do this because I'm almost out of this stuff. So let's auto sort real quick. Let's move this down. God, how boring, right? Move this down. Jesus. Okay, there's a better way to do this, I'm sure. And move this down. Cool, move that down to the very bottom. So the way you want to do this, and this shouldn't be affected by the candy click nerf. Actually, there's... No, I can't say that. Never mind. Forget what I said. So kind of, you still want to use candy here, right? Not permanently. I did that on a fucking mob. God damn it. Okay, hold on. Oh, yeah. Gotta hit the tree. Gotta hit the tree, main. Gotta hit the tree. Okay. Cool. Okay. First things first, gotta make sure my inventory's clear. Cool. Use it. Should have rucksack on, right? Okay, I do. Cool. So what you want to do here is, obviously things don't automatically get turned into atoms when they're in your inventory. So what you want to do here is just kind of place this in front of your other stacks of jungle logs, right? You want to click until you have above 1,000 or 1 billion of the resource there, right? So you can just do that over and over, do that over and over, right? Until you get like a bunch of stacks of jungle logs. And this counts for your construction. So when you need to go level up, it'll take it kind of equally from all these stacks, maybe not equally, but kind of semi-randomly equally. I don't know, it's weird. But yeah, you can use this to level up your Pantheon Shrine, even if it costs more than 1 billion resources. Very tedious to do. I've had to do this, I think, 3 or 4 times or so, and it takes up the vast majority of my inventory because at this stage, I think every single upgrade's costing like 6 or 7 billion jungle logs for me. So yeah, it's insane. If I go to my toolbox, I'm sure I need like 100 stacks of these jungle logs or something, right? Or I go to toolbox. It's going to require like 100 stacks of these. I don't remember the number I need to finish off, but I'm just going to, call that good and hope it's actually enough, but I'm only 7 levels off. How much jungle logs could it actually be? You know, while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and check, because I'm paranoid. Let's see. Go over to buildings. 58 billion. So I need 58 stacks of jungle logs here. $36. So I need like a few more. Okay, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. 46, 7, 8, 49, 50, 51, 52. How much is it? Oh my god, I don't have enough fucking storage space for this, man. Oh my god. Okay, I have to craft my like biggie hours or something. Like, I don't even know how many I have in my storage right now. Okay, I'm just gonna take these bags. Guess. Oh no. Oh, it's horrible. Oh, it's bad. Okay. Premium stones, these don't do anything anymore, by the way, so you can toss these, but I'm a hoarder, so I'm not going to toss them. Also, this AC wand I have is complete dog, so I can toss this as well. 20,000 eggs is also terrible. I mean, you don't need eggs anymore, right? I'm sure if Tim's watching, he's going to leave a comment hating on me, absolutely, and every single endgamer is going to tag team me into oblivion. Okay, I'm gonna say that's good. I think it's okay. 12, 24, 36, 48. Yeah, that's more than enough. This is overkill. Actually, I can take some of this out, get some storage space back. Okay, cool. This is account review. This isn't main candy clicks for fun with storage space, right? Cool. Okay, DrKennith. So the moral of the story is keep Pantheon Shrine in your construction, so you can get that to level 300, because obviously every level past 200 now gives you class EXP multi. I don't think I need to say how insane that is, so it's always worth to kind of have it there, even if it takes hours or even days for you to farm a level up for it. 100% worth it, and you'll probably max this out before you get the other shrines maxed out. Okay, kind of similar logic you want to do with Isakian Shrine. This is way more painful nowadays because of how the storage actually works. You kind of need to, instead of doing all quick with the MSA totalizer, you kind of need to do like all at once, so it actually goes to your inventory. Otherwise, every single green forest soul is going to get atomized. Similar logic you want to do with the crystal shrine. So painful. Death Note. Okay, cool. Make sure you get your Equinox skulls for World 7. Make sure to get your Super Chows for World 7, and make sure to get your Apocalypse Wows for World 7 as well. Now that you've gotten to Coral Cave Guardian, you've kind of, I imagine, pushed there on most of your characters, if not all of them. Your next goal is to get Eclipse Skulls. Remember, it's a damage multi. Remember, it's multi-kill per tier in World 7. So World 7 is going to get expanded upon, so you can benefit from that multi-kill despite it being nerfed by up to 92% or so, 95%, whatever your number is, right? And on top of it, having a 5 times damage cap increase, right? Like, you still benefit from it. And also the damage multi is very nice because that means you can push more like Emperor or something, right? Cool. Moving away from that, let's talk about Atom Collider, maybe. Okay, big thing, maybe you do actually want to focus on getting more statue levels for mining statue and more dragon warrior statues, and maybe looking to reprint, because getting level 50 of aluminum is aluminium, as it's written here, is actually pretty insane, because again, this is exalted stamp bonus. So this means you get more crystal spawn chance, more carry capacity, more, I don't even know what you have exalted, but you get more of that, right? So this is pretty good. Hat rack, I guess we can talk about. So save up your trophies for the pink headband. This gives you masterclass drops. Pretty good. I don't know. I think these are all mostly event stuff, if I'm not mistaken. Bunny Ears is event, right? Oh, Funky Hat. This is, you haven't dropped this yet. This is World 7. I think this is from River Spirits, if I'm not mistaken. This requires the upgrade to Jade Emporium, and you have to have found this in sneaking. Those of you that don't know, Funky Hat has actually 2 places it can drop. Number 1 is obviously this ghost floor right here. It doesn't have a loot table, but it drops straw hats, and also drops the Funky Hat. And the other place it drops is the very last floor for sneaking, but it has a 10 times lower drop rate in the final floor than it does the ghost floor. So for that reason, I recommend farming on the ghost floor for that hat, especially if you're trying to get the Equinox challenge done, which could be what you're, I guess, maybe challenges. Yeah, you don't have that yet. So you can complete this relatively easily. What I recommend is I would probably get either Yellow Belt Meteor or Double Meteor to try to farm this as fast as possible. And then you just kind of trash the straw hats until you see a Funky Hat, right? The reason I have this belt set up is because I'm EXP farming right now in Mastery 7. And in the Ghost Floor with a yellow belt and black belts actually gives you the most sneaking EXP. So really good for EXP farming. That's how I'm level 1,271 in sneaking. Kind of want to use that tech if you have it available to you. Cool. Moving on to, I don't know, World 4 cooking. I mean, cooking's painful if you have more than 110 meal level. Yeah. I think cooking is, it's so fucked. I don't even know. Okay, you want to do some Windwalker farming. So active Windwalker, especially during this week of the Masterclass resource multi. Activating on Windwalker, leveling up these shiny pets, absolutely worth it. You're missing a lot of multi here. So what are you missing it from? Breeding bonus. Okay, that's the actual breeding upgrade. Lamp bonus is low. Crops maybe, or your crops bad. There are 280 crops, so it can't be that. Maybe crop scientist pencil from your Masterclass, perhaps, perchance, or maybe Grimoire. 6,881. Not yet at the end of Deathbringer. So, actually, without me even looking at your masterclasses, I can actually tell what you want to focus on is probably your masterclasses, because you're missing like the Death of Adam price, for example. And that's pretty good, especially as we just talked about for aluminum. This is a fairly good upgrade. So pushing 2 here with this ballot is definitely what you want to do. I'd probably use a few bones to get higher Bovenet, so you get the impact from Bovenet hoarding a little bit. But on Deathbringer specifically during this week, if you're watching it, if you haven't done it already, there's a few upgrades you want to focus on or try to get high level into, and that's Grey Tome Book, because this multiplies the effect of Tome, and this does apply to Tome Epilogue. Really, really good. Then you have Superior Crop Research. This multiplies the effectiveness of the crop scientist, increases. So this increases your drop rate, your spelunking power. This increases your shiny pet farming rate, gaming evolution chance, right? It's really, really good. It's a fantastic upgrade. You can't really max this because this requires a ton of bones, but depending how many bones you have in storage, you may be able to max out Grey Tome Book. I would highly recommend utilizing your legend talent for masterclass cost reduction on Grey Tome Book, because right now it's costing you 1 Q. I think the last upgrade, 149 to 150, cost me 1 or 2 QQ rib cages. So it cost an absolute metric lots, right? So you want to utilize the legend talent for cost reduction there. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, Masterclass daily shopping spree, this one right here gives you up to 24 upgrades, being 80% cheaper. Really, really good for pushing any of the masterclasses. Highly recommend using this on your daily reset if you aren't already, because of how effective this is, especially for Grey Tome Book, right? With it multiplying bone increase, dust increase, and tachyons. This is insane for pushing Grey Tome Book, right? Okay. Well, now that we're on that topic, let's go take a look at your compass. I kind of want to see. So if you're struggling for damage, I don't suspect you maybe are. I don't know. Because you don't have a bow equipped, so it's hard to tell. But damage. So for those of you that are in World 5 is when you can start probably getting this, especially with the bone multi we have now, or sorry, the dust multi, is cool dust hoarding. This is a separate multi to Tempest damage. So once you get this and get enough cool dust, you can get a ton of damage from cool dust hoarding. On top of getting a high weapon power bow, and I get questions about this all the time, especially during streams or in Discord, is how do you scale masterclass damage? For Deathbringer, it just is straight up Grimoire, right? Grimoire upgrades the talents, right? With Windwalker and AC, it's a little bit different because they have specific weapons for that class. For Windwalker, the only thing you need to worry about on the bow itself is weapon power. The scaling for weapon damage for Windwalker is really, really good. Versus AC, it's okay. It's still something to look at, but it's not like the end all be all for a wand. Like say you have a 5-speed wand with 40 weapon power and 60% miss damage, but then you have another 5-speed wand with 38 weapon power, but 15 more miss damage than that. You probably want to go with the lower weapon power one there because the miss damage can sometimes beat it out. That stays true relatively easily throughout higher weapon powers with AC in my experience, but AC does require more speed on weapons. So speed becomes a little bit more important than Windwalker, at least on AC. So that's kind of what you want to prioritize for weapons there. But on Windwalker specifically, weapon power is king. If you can get a nice speed, if you can get a non 3 or 4 speed bow, you're chilling. You're being chilling, bro. You don't really need to rely too much on the speed, to be honest. It has less of an impact than it does on AC because AC has separate scalars for attack speed, right? It has its own talent, which increases attack speed. It has a upgrade in the tesseract to increase your attack speed, and also the scaling from weapons themselves can contribute a lot to your attack speed, which means you fire out more skulls, which means you kill more mobs, which means you get more tachyons. Compared to Windwalker, that's just not the case, not the same case. So yeah, that's why speed's more important on AC, less so on Windwalker. So you want to focus on weapon power for Windwalker, kind of a mix of weapon power, misc damage, and speed for AC. It's a little bit more balanced in that regard. Cool. Okay. So at any rate, World 5 Windwalker really like gets off the ground, destroys the abominations with cool dust hoarding very, very easily. Especially if you have moons, especially if you have the Meritocracy ballot, especially if you have any of the World 7 multis to Masterclass resources. AC, okay. AC is a pain of a class. It just has like really high scaling for most of the costs for their bubbles or the tesseract upgrades, right? For me, with cost reduction, it will take me roughly like 30 days or something to get further from where I'm at, which is endless reductions to like Arcanist of all trades or Orion hoarding. So I need a lot, and that's including the Meritocracy ballot, mind you. So I need a lot of AC rocks stacked up if I want to try to finish the tesseract, versus the other master classes. You can effectively finish their compass, their grimoire, right? AC is just has a hard time because the cost scaling on things are ridiculous. Like Pinnacle of Prisma going from 6 to 7. I don't believe this is with cost reduction, costs 720 trillion gold tachyons or Orion tachyons. Like that is crazy. Okay. If you look at Deathbringer, who has grimoire, right? And you look at, what is it? Wraith Tome Book where is it? Writhing Grimoire. You can max this out. This only costs like up to 7 billion rib cages, which is like nothing. But if you look at AC and you look at Fractal Tesseract, which is the AC version of Writhing Grimoire, you'll see the cost scaling on it is binoculars, right? 89 trillion for 22 to 23 for Fractal Tesseract. Like that's absurd. Okay, like it's nigh impossible to get to 50 Fractal Tesseract right now unless there's some cost reduction decreases, which I think has been hinted to by Lava. So I don't know if that's coming in a future time, but it's practically impossible to do Fractal Tesseract. Even if you get massive on hoarding, even if you use the Masterclass cost reductions from Daily Shopping Spree, it's just really, really hard to do so. So getting it to 22 is an accomplishment. Getting it even further than that's going to require massive unhoarding and like 1Q silver tachyons or something. Like it's insane. Cool. Okay. And similar like Vicar the Emperor, like you'd expect this to be good, but actually the scaling on it's kind of bad in terms of like the tachyon increase it would give you, but it does increase like bone and dust and like stealth and drop rate. So it's good to increase it. I think pushing it to like 12 I think is feasible with like massive unhoarding. But yeah, also talking about massive unhoarding, this upgrade is absurd. It works multiplicatively with Daily Shopping Spree. So you can use this on top of your daily reset to massively lower the cost for things in Tesseract. Still not to a point where it's like feasible to max out Fractal Tesseract or any of the other upgrades. Like the cost scaling is absurd for those. So it's not happening. But yeah, this does help a little bit with AC, the Tesseract, and pushing it. Like I'm at endless reductions, right? So, I mean, that is testament alone to how good it is. There are people who are pushing past me because they saved their rocks because they expected a Meritocracy ballot. Losers, to push even further to me. But yeah, it's the cost scaling is insane. Like, again, I'm going to go over to my toolbox and show you how insane the cost scaling is, how many rocks I actually need to push. And I think I'm outside of cost reduction. So keep that in mind, reduce everything by 80% here. So right now, going from 6,531 to 6,750. It's like 219 or so, something like that. I need 219 upgrades. Okay. I'll let the days speak for itself here. And these are with the new rates that I have with my ballot, right? I think I'm actually pushing like 162 trillion here. I'm pushing like 120, I think, trillion here, and I'm pushing 44 trillion or something, right? These are, and I think I'm pushing 100 trillion now, something like that. Like these are the rates I have, and it's taking me, days. I don't have the rocks for this. Like it's impossible. So I resigned to not being able to push Tesseract any further until I get another like 500 rocks or so. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to be spending my tachyons on wand quality and ring quality to get more tachyon from those. and just like hope the cost scaling gets reduced so you can actually push tesseract a little bit faster, and get better wands or something in the meantime. Cool. That's kind of the name of the game for arcane cultists, is, you know, getting higher wand quality, getting better wands, getting higher speed, weapon power, and misc damage wands, and pushing it a little bit further, getting higher misc tachyon rings to push a little bit further. Honestly, the accuracy for rings kind of falls off very heavily once you reach like world 5-ish. It just kind of dies off very quickly. Cool. Okay, talking a lot about masterclass in this video. I suspect the thumbnail is going to be masterclass related. If it's not, I'm clickbaiting everyone, I swear to God. Moving away. Cool. Moving on to, I guess we can talk about exotic market. I did in the previous account review. I do want to make a correction because I think in that video, I talked specifically about the land rank database thing not being that good, or potentially not that good. It's actually insane. This is definitely one of the best upgrades here because it does impact the 5th column of the land rank stuff. So it gives you increased stealth, drop rate, all stat, total damage. The drop rate is reason enough to put points into this. And this current rotation I think we have is Largiums, which is a bean multiplier, and plump database is like the 2 most important ones. I'd recommend probably like a 1-to-3 split here for everyone who has questions about that. I try to post this in tips and tricks to kind of keep people in the know. So if you're in the Discord, you kind of already know this. But Largiums, this is a multiplier to magic beans. One upgrade to this from like 95 levels or so made my bean multi like 8.09 to 8.75 or something. So it's pretty good. And plump database gave me like 8 drop rate or something, like 5 drop rate, 6 drop rate when I upgraded it like another 100 levels or so. So pretty good. Really, really good. Also for the all stat and the stealth percent, it's worth it in that regard too. So this is like insane. I amend my previous account review talking about plump database. I think it brushed it off. This is really, really good. And I imagine data digging is also going to be insane because it kind of impacts plump database too, right? Okay. Sneaking. Cool. Remember your scroll does impact everything gold charm related, so make sure this is in a higher slot. Unless you're specifically targeting like higher level items, then you can swap it out for gold scroll or something. But I don't think you need jade coin, really. I don't know. I guess it'll just kind of depend what you want to do here. Summoning 304. Just need more damage, honestly. Beanstalk. I would try to finish off your beanstalk for golden cakes, golden peanuts, and saltwater taffy. Golden cakes, this gives a lot of drop rate, so this is a no-brainer, something you want to try to do. Golden peanuts, a little bit hard to do now that hot dogs moved away from crystal mobs, but you can actually farm, you actually can't candy them from World 1 mobs, Gigafrogs, and I think Woad boards. Drop hot dogs now. So you can active ES, or you could just candy it. I recommend candying. Yeah, Golden Saltwater Taffy. I would farm that out on the very last map of World 7 with the Coral Cape Guardians. Very good place for DK farming. And Golden Cakes just requires a lot of candying. Also, I didn't realize, but Golden Bread, I really can't remember if this is World 5 or World 6 Coliseum. I'm going to go out on a limb and say World 5. Do this on AC. I have a video recently I posted of account review where I went through this. I think I posted this in my tips and tricks sections or stream clips as well, but how to actually farm for golden breads, golden kebabs in Coliseum with AC. The kind of logic behind it. You just kind of want to kill things fast, and Auspicious Aura is actually really good for killing things fast. So you kind of need to swap between platforms, drop it down as fast as possible, click on next round, and kind of force a high score, because on AC you could potentially get like 2 golden chests, which gives you the majority of the golden food that you're going to be getting from Coliseum, or at least a good portion of it, right? Cool. Okay, Emperor. I would definitely be doing higher showdowns of Emperor. Remember, the best way to increase your damage is from gold food and also weapon power boost food. With the increase and with Zenith statue specifically, the Feasty statue, Dragon Warrior statue, giving you a ton of boost food effect. You can actually equip weapon power food. So if you have this event, Chaco, I do this. If you don't, I recommend swapping in bullets or something. But this gives you more weapon power than bullets. So if you have it, use it. If you don't, don't. And then these 2 golden food if you have all 6 food slots. Like, these are insane, right? A total damage multiplier, all stat gives you total damage, right? Really, really good. And the weapon power just gives you a bunch of damage. Like, if I take a look here, my damage right here is 12 billion. If I go ahead and equip the gold food that I have, go from 12 billion to 1.2 trillion. Yeah, it's insane. So that's the combo of gold food effect, the boost food effect that you get from the statues. Really, really good. So that's kind of the combo. Oh, fuck me. That's kind of the combo you want to use if you want to get higher damage for Emperor. And honestly, at this point, recommend doing it on Arcane Cultist. Arcane Cultist has a talent that marks enemies that gives you a ton of damage when you hit the enemy. You want to do it on the top platform to bounce around skulls pretty frequently to get you a ton of damage that way as well. And then AC naturally with the Wisdom increases your boss damage as well, because Wisdom increases boss damage naturally. And on top of that, I think AC has some pretty decent crit chance or crit damage too. So pretty good. AC is fairly good for pushing Emperor, especially nowadays. Also kind of depends on your refinery. You could do it on DK, sure, depending if your refinery is high enough for rank, like 210. Maybe not. AC is probably better for you. Cool. Gallery, no luckiest lad. Unfortunate. Name tags, though. You have 5 dead bone name tags. I don't even know if my noise gate's picking up my clapping here, but 5... All right, Kenneth, thank you for the account. I appreciate it. I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.